What's up, YouTube? This is DEFCON 3 Security coming at you from somewhere here on this spaceship Earth as we float through the universe in our spacesuits. Okay, so I've been told that I blink my left eye a lot when I talk, and I know I don't do this normally, so this has got to be a nervous twitch when I'm filming myself, and I can actually feel myself struggle to not blink my left eye. So anyways, life as a security guard, right? I didn't have a cup to make a cup of coffee. I have the coffee grounds, I have the creamer, the sugar, everything. And I want a cup of coffee really bad, but I don't have a cup. And I really can't leave this premises to get a cup. So what do? As security guards, we adapt, we adjust, we improvise. Well, this is my cup. Now, I did put this in a microwave, and I know putting plastic in a microwave is a bad thing, but in this case, today I had to make an exception. And our microwave, believe it or not, it's underpowered. See, on this site, they have been without a microwave forever because we have like a guard shack, which you'll never catch me in the guard shack, by the way. I hide somewhere else on the property. It's just too obvious. You can be overran in a heartbeat while being in a guard shack. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. The guard shack itself has one extension cord going to it that powers up the whole shack, which include monitors, you name it. If I put a microwave that's high wattage in there, it will pop the breaker and we'll lose power in the shack. And that has happened quite a few times. Other managers have tried it, and they said, you know what, you guys just cannot have a microwave. So for the longest time, all the guards did away with microwave food. They would just simply bring cold sandwiches, or they'll bring a thermos with hot coffee in it. But you could never really heat up your food out here because you don't have a microwave, and you start to miss those little luxuries. Well, I become the new manager, and actually now I'm the regional manager. If you guys don't know, doesn't matter, right? But I'm the regional manager for our company. So I like to problem solve. I like to keep my guys happy. I was once told that a supervisor's job is to do everything possible to make the employee's job easier so that they can be more happy and productive. So that's what I try to do. I really wanted a microwave on this site for these guys, including myself. But I didn't know how to overcome that obstacle of popping the breaker. I almost brought a generator, like a gas-powered generator that we could just power up and then have the microwave plugged into it, heat up your food, and then turn it off. And then I started thinking, well, you know, a lot of RVs have microwaves, and how do they run their microwaves on the car battery? Well, they don't necessarily run it off the car battery. They run it off of an inverter that's connected to the battery, right? Long story short, I started thinking about the microwaves that they use. I'm like, well, they gotta be like low voltage. And that's when it dawned on me, hey, the reason why the breaker keeps popping with this single extension cord guard shack is because it's overpowered. It's like a 1,000-watt microwave. So I went online and found the most weakest powered microwave. And by the way, I found it at Walmart of all places. I thought I would have to order it like it would be a specialty item, and it wasn't. It was just a simple, I think it was $46 microwave, and I bought it for the guard shack, and here we are months later, no issues whatsoever. So we have a microwave. It is a small microwave, but it is powerful. It will literally heat up your food almost as fast, if not faster, than the big one I have at home. But it's small. So this bottle right here, it cannot clear the microwave. So when you put it in, it starts to bend. So I literally had to bend this just to fit it in the microwave to heat up the water in here. And then I poured in the grinds and then everything. So now I have hot coffee, and this will be more than enough to satisfy my craving. So there you go, guys. Just life as a security guard. What else do I have in here? I have a can of pepper gel. I don't use pepper spray because the spray comes back on you. Remember, we proved this myth in another video. The pepper gel, it doesn't blow back on you. So I have this in my car. Actually, this video is not about what I have in my car, but I know that you guys are probably curious. So I have 2 flashlights for no reason. I just got this one on Amazon. 10 bucks. Totally awesome. It's called a Brionic flashlight, right? It probably is reading backwards. It's called Brionic. It's small and it is super powerful. You can charge it through a USB right here. Let's see. There's a little USB port right here. You charge it through there, and it's so cheap. It's 10 bucks. It says that it's 1500 lumens, okay? The wife got me this one right here. This is 1500 lumens. This is expensive. This acts as a flashlight and an uncertified baton. And this thing, man, look at that. That's aircraft grade steel, heavy duty. If you nail somebody with this, it's game over. Well, anyways, one of these is 1500 lumen, and supposedly the other is not. Well, I'll tell you what, they're both 1500 lumens. This little one right here puts out so much light. I tested it out last night. Dude, it literally blinds my phone. I mean, it's insane. It lights up the car. It's got different modes on it. It's got a strobe on it, low power and off. Not to say this one isn't a good one. This one's actually pretty amazing. You charge this as well via USB. It's 1500 watts. It's got the strobe. You could definitely feel the build quality on this, but this little one's not too bad. And then let me show you what else I have with it. And I'm going to do a proper review on this. It's got a tactical holster, right? So this holster clicks in like this. Boom, look at that. And then it's got this little thing right here where you clip it on your belt clip. Man, this thing is totally awesome. If you pull this thing out, you could turn the flashlight any direction you want. Again, I'll do a review on this on one of these days, but tactical holster, flashlight, and it's got this little latch here to lock it. Boom, you pull it out, comes right off just like that. What else do I have? I've got this thing right here called Go Power. Walmart find. Not only is it a flashlight, which I would probably never use, but it acts as a storage bank, right, for power, because I don't like to take power from my vehicle in fear that it's going to wear my battery out. But let's just say it does wear my battery out. Well, you know what this Go Power does? Literally has this little connector right here, and it comes with jumper cables. You put this in, the connected jumper cables in, attach it to your vehicle, and then boom, you got power. Vehicle starts up. So this is actually a jumper cable, if you will, portable jumper box. Why do I have all this stuff laying around? Well, since I'm at work right now, I have access to power. I usually charge up these things every month or two. As is with any lithium battery, you definitely want to charge it up at least every month and a half or two. Otherwise, it can the battery can prematurely wear out on you. So there you go, couple items. Last item that I have is this Anchor $20 Amazon find. It's a Bluetooth speaker. I'm charging this thing up too. So I don't have all these things just laying around. It's just that I happen to be charging things up tonight. So those are a few items that I happen to carry with me. I don't eat these every day. I really don't. But I keep cup of noodles handy. I'm going to give this to the guard tonight. I know it makes him happy. You know, happy, what do they say? Happy wife, happy life. Well, happy full guard is a happy guard, because my replacement tonight happens to eat a lot. So I'm going to give him some cup of noodles because he always underpacks his food. Anyway, so there you go. There's a few things that I'm looking at. We're running out of light, so let's get a flashlight on here. Let's use my little Brionic here. Let's get some light. All right. So my actual video today is by one of the people put in the comments. What's his name? Alan Moyle. He said something to the effects of, "Hey Mike, I want to be a nurse, but my parents are telling me, you know, go for it, and I'm thinking, you know, as a security guard, that would be an awesome job too, but they're telling me, you know, that's That's not really a career that you should go toward. Basically, what I think they're telling him is, dude, why do you want to be a security guard? That's like a low-end job. Requires no brain, and it's beneath us. So why don't you become a nurse? You can make more money in that industry, and it's more prestigious. And there is some truth to that. But remember yesterday I told you the story, right? I told you a story about, well, you have a king that has a prestigious job. According to society, their job is to please the masses and help the masses, and their life is important. But then you have a lowly peasant that's job is to just, I don't know, cook food all day or pick fruits all day or whatever, you name it. Their job might not be that glorious when you look at it, but it doesn't mean that they are any less important, because without them, this king would not be able to function, because they would not have food or they wouldn't have a cook. So, you can never say, well, this guy is prestigious. He's a lawyer, he's a doctor, and security guards and, assembly line workers are nobody. It's not the case. When I was younger, I used to think that way, like, oh, there's no way you would catch me being a security guard. It's such a low, like a low class job, if you will. But it's not. Now, let's get to numbers. Yes, your parents are right. You can make a ton of money as a nurse. The sky's the limit. Having said that, you could make a lot of money in the security industry. And there's other factors to consider. If you want to be a nurse, right? You're going to spend at least 4 years in college, and then you have to apply at different places and hope they accept you. It's a process, and you have to put a lot of mental work into it. You might have to take student loans, but ultimately you're going to make some really good money. So now you've got, on day one, somebody trying to be a nurse. Then you got another person that says, hey, I'm going to get my guard card and become a security guard. And on day one, they get their security guard card because it's just an 8-hour class. And then 2 months later, they are working as an armed guard because they pursue getting an armed guard card. So let's say within 2 to 4 months, they become an armed guard. So now that nurse in 4 months is still without a job because they're still going to college. They are broke. They are stressed out. They are trying to pass their exams to get closer to that dream of being a nurse. They're only 4 months into it. Meanwhile, this armed guard that's 4 months into their job has been watching my DEFCON 3 channel, and they realize, hey man, I've got some value, I've got some worth, man. I'm an armed guard, I can get shot at any minute. I'm not settling for $16 an hour. I'm gonna go for 26 an hour. So now this guy's making $26 an hour, and this nurse is making $0 an hour because they are still in college. Now, 2 years go by. Where do you think this guard that was making $26 an hour is going to be job-wise? If he plays his card right and he's smart, he will keep moving up the industry ladder, if you will. He's not going to be making 26 an hour. He should be making, after 2 years, at least 30 an hour. Meanwhile, this nurse, which is 2 years into their college, is kind of in the negative because they have debt from college. They're getting a little bit burned out, right? And they're starting to realize this industry, although an awesome, prestigious industry to be in, is difficult. There's a lot of people that want to be nurses, and it's kind of a cutthroat industry. So initially they wanted to work with kids as a nurse, but now they've kind of changed it up and said, you know what, I think I'm going to work with cancer patients instead, because every nurse wants to work with children, right? They want to work in pediatrics, or they want to deliver babies, or you name it. But it's tough because you get a lot of women that just want to go into that specific field. So you end up being like a podiatrist or working with a podiatrist, or you know what I mean. So you might not get that area that you want to work with. Meanwhile, that guard, 2 years into it, he's either doing really good or he's doing really bad. Again, if he's following my channel, he's doing really good. So now we're on year 3. Year number 3, this security guard should be regional manager for a company. He could be making anywhere from 60 to 160,000 a year. Right now, that's some pretty good money, and he's happy at 160,000. Man, you cannot complain. But on year 3, this nurse is still going to school. Now year 4, this person is no longer regional manager, this guard. He is now district manager. 4 years is enough time to become district manager for a security company. That's why I sometimes tell you guys, don't get stuck in the small companies. In security, go to the bigger ones where there's room to grow. But also don't go for a company that's been around for 40 years, because the odds of you becoming a district manager when they've already got a district manager and he's not retiring anytime soon is very slim. So you got to find that right spot, you know, that right company. I happen to find the right company. Our company's growing. We're big enough to know that it could be a lucrative company to stick with, but we're young enough that I could be elevated really quickly. I can be promoted really quickly. I think our company's only been around for 3.5 years, but I didn't let that scare me away, because there is a certain sense of professionalism with my company that I know that they're going to actually be around for quite a while. Other companies I work for, not so much. So as a district manager for a security company, you could be making a ton of money. You could be making more than that nurse, just so you know. So if money is a factor, I don't know. It's a tie. Now we're at year 4. The nurse is just graduating and they're just starting to look for a job. By this time, they are already burned out from college work. And again, this is a hypothetical. This isn't necessarily true, but this does happen a lot. And if you're studying to be a nurse out there, I'm not bashing you. I think it's definitely an awesome job. I used to teach emergency response, and I've been through a lot of nurses, so I know the job and the requirements and what you guys do. But I'm just giving people some sort of perspective, just so they know that, like, you know, being a doctor or a lawyer may not always be what it's cut out to be, right? So so there you go. Now on year 4, this security guard is now district manager for their company, and the nurse is just barely looking for a job and will really take any job they can get at this time. Fortunately for them, if they've done good in school and they have a degree, they're going to start off with a good job. But I promise you, it's most likely not going to be nowhere near what that security guard is making per year. Because remember, they got a head start 4 years ago. They started working literally 4 years ago, and that nurse just started working a day ago, right? So that guard's going to already have a down payment on their house. They're going to be 4 years into the industry, and a nurse is just looking for a job. So Alan, if your parents are telling you, I want you to be a nurse, forget about being a security guard, at the end of the day, it's up to you. But there is one thing that you cannot get in either one of those industries, and that is time. Now, if it takes you so much time to be a nurse, like they want you to work 17-hour shifts or 16-hour shifts, and you know, you're just constantly working, it's just not worth it. I don't care how much money you make. Same goes for security. I know that in the security industry, a lot of guards, including myself at some points, have worked more hours than I should have. I've missed out on holidays and birthdays and events just because I wanted to keep my employer happy, and you'll never get that time back. Dude, I am totally blinded by this light. It really got me good. So, yeah, Alan, I just say follow your heart, you know. Whatever you would wake up and do free every single day of your life, assuming money wasn't an issue, whatever you would wake up and do free every single day of your life, that is what you do for a living. Know your worth, know your value, value your time. Above all, be safe.